Sit, turn type, sit. Good boy. Ruff.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff.
Special edition today of Cutting a Promo. And today it's not going to be all negative. It's going to be all positive. Hopefully. We'll see how this discussion goes. But I am joined by, I think this is like the first time you guys are joining us, but the Ring Fanatics, Nick and Joel. How you guys doing today?
How are you, Mike? How are you? Thanks for having us.
Yes,
About time you got on your channel.
Yeah, everybody should go check it out. Me and Jay have been on you guys' show plenty of times already, and now you are here for Cutting a Promo. And today is going to be one of those interesting ones where it's after WrestleMania, and I think for some people, most of it, I will say from my inner circle, that a lot of people are now not watching wrestling nowadays, or at least are taking a break from it. But for some of us that are still diehards, it's still chugging along, and things have been changing on the main roster, mostly in WWE. New faces are popping up. So, how we'll talk about everybody individually, but I want to ask first about the ones from. Let's go back to January, because we had the main four that have been on the main roster now, which have been Javon Evans, Obafemi, Trick Williams, and Jordan Grace. Whoever wants to start, how do you guys feel so far about their progression on the main roster so far?
Joel, do you want to go, or do you?
No, Nick, kick it off.
Okay, cool. I think each one of them, it feels like a fresh start for some of them, because now we get to see Trick more on SmackDown. About time he's been on the main roster, so we get his energetic and his charisma into something like a feud with Sammy and possibly others in the future. People are loving Oba. So the fact that we were able to get someone like him from the first day, from the Rumble, kind of getting all this hype already, which is also amazing. And it's awesome to see how big of a star, he's being presented as. Same thing with Javon. Javon is still kind of young, so there's no rush to put him in the main event scene or that big of a push yet. But and even Jordan Grace is being put into some good matches, some big stories here and there. Even though she was out with an injury recently, but it's fresh. I know we had some more after Mania, but between the four that were debuted before, it's like we get to see some new fresh faces, and they're being built great so far. I don't have anything negative to say about how they're being booked. So yeah, they're being booked great so far, and knock on wood, they keep it that way for the rest of the year, rest of their careers.
No, yeah, definitely. Hopefully they keep it up. I think the core four from January is actually doing a great job. Well, creative's doing a great job with them, especially Trick and Oba. Of course, they're above the rest, but like Nick said, Javon's still young. I was even surprised that he was called up so quickly. It made sense for him to stay in NXT a little bit more, but why not bring him to the main roster? He's doing great, and he's had big matches, big moments so far. So you could look at that as a success, and hopefully they keep it up with them. Oba with the big Brock win, I love that for him. I hope they keep the momentum on him. I know with these open challenges, it might get a little tiring after a while. So hopefully this is leading up to something for him, but they need to strike while it's hot.
It's definitely interesting for Javon, because he has said publicly that he wanted to stay longer if he had the choice.
Yeah, he didn't even win a title down there, right? Like didn't win anything down there.
Yeah, that's also the problem. That a lot of people had with his NXT run, where he like the Heritage Cup was the only fucking thing he won, but who gives a damn about that? But
Oh, I forgot that thing was around.
yeah, he was in title matches all the time, always in those positions, but never won those things. But I will ask this: where you guys don't watch NXT weekly, right?
Well, I catch up via social media, so I know what's going on, and I know who people who are, but not weekly.
Right. But for these people, like
yeah, I know.
Devon,
Yeah, so I would know who these are and like what their careers were. So yeah, I kind of caught myself up with them, at least.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with you guys. Javon pretty much has all the time in the world. He's still young. Him going for the IC title right now is not a bad look right now, but just and also he was in the Elimination Chamber, minus the fact that fucking the announcer called him the wrong last name. But it's all been uphill. It's all been uphill for him. Trick Williams, aside from the gingerbread shit and him having little Yanni as his manager, is doing excellent.
Yeah.
Where he's successfully turned himself babyface, and Sami Zayn's now on a heel run.
Mm-hmm. We're
about to turn heel as we're recording this, but Oba definitely the strapping the rocket to this dude so fast. And you know what? It's deserved, because for the longest time NXT he was dominating, and now it's time for him to dominate Monday Night Raw.
Yeah,
definitely.
Don't be surprised. Kick in the ring. That'll be his big win, and then he goes to SummerSlam, faces Roman for the world title. Jordan Grace, though, I understand she had an injury, but it's kind of she should be a little higher though. I think
she's kind of just been there. She's just there.
Right.
I feel
they kind of shot too early with her and Jade for the women's title, but now it's like she's on main event losing to Lash. Like that kind of sucks.
Oof.
But it's also like I know she's publicly saying like she wants like the real life 2K thing to be like she wants to be a Paul Heyman girl. I don't know if that's being a detriment to her. Or
I mean, it's definitely be a great like experiment to see like if that actually happens and what they could do with that. Because on paper, it sounds and it looks cool, but you know, it's the first ever female Paul Heyman woman. So it'll be like, what can they do with that? You know, if that could actually happen. Like,
what does that look like?
Yeah.
I mean, her in the Vision is not a bad idea, but it looks like Maxine Dupree is the one they're teasing for that. Oddly enough.
Yeah, I guess.
I don't know how I feel about that one.
Yeah,
because they show her in the background talking to Theory and Logan. And it's like, really, you're gonna have her turn on Otis and Akira and just join the Vision? Like, there's nothing wrong with her, but she's like, that's not the person I would choose.
Yeah, out of everyone, it's like, really?
And you just had her lose or had her feud with Natalia that would led to nothing, and it was like, you know, she was just that babyface that everyone's behind, and now she's gonna get that serious heel. Like, how are you gonna? That doesn't make any sense. You can't just switch her up like that. Yeah. I'm not saying she's gonna play bad at that part because I remember when she was a manager in NXT, right, and then also MXM Collection. So she definitely can play a great heel-ish manager type of thing.
Yeah. Funny enough, she really didn't spend too much time in NXT. She made like one appearance, and then they wanted to do the Maximum Male Model stuff with LA Knight, who was Max Dupree. Then they're like, oh, just pretty much cast her in this role. And then she was like, okay, go from there.
Yeah, here you go.
Like, here's your new name, here's your new gimmick, and now you have a stable of people. It's like, have fun. Or good luck. And now in the last year, she's gotten better. But for Jordan, though, I mean, SmackDown's not a bad place for her, but it's also kind of like, now what?
Yeah, because now they have a division for the U.S. title. Because at first it was just the same, like, 3 people going for it. Now you have somewhat of a competition for Tiffany. They're like, now you can go up against this person and that person and this person. So many people they can add up, and then that makes it interesting. But it's like at the same time, it's like, now there's so many. So it's like, is she going to be the title picture anytime soon? Is she not going to be in it? We already know she lost to Jade, so now when she's going to get her opportunity next?
Even if they remember they have a women's. I'm sorry, what did I say?
No, I was gonna say, and that match, like Mike said, happened too early with Jade, and they really never really put any oomph behind it to make you care about it the way that we should have cared about it.
Yeah, and sometimes they forget they have a women's U.S. title, which It was one of those women's titles that they would never even brought up at WrestleMania.
Yeah. I mean, definitely, if they would have, if she wasn't injured, maybe she would have been in the title picture. Because I heard rumors and reports that she was supposed to be that match, with Tiffany and Julia, but her injury kind of set it back a little bit. So maybe that would have been something. Not sure. But that was the one that was like, all right, I'm just hoping she stays in something instead of being like an afterthought for a while, because I'm worried she's gonna be like not be seen for a while, and it's like, all right, she's gonna be in that next cut list sometime soon.
That would suck.
That would be tough.
I mean, she is talented enough. I just thought when they brought her in from when she was still working with TNA and they were having her used on NXT. Then they officially brought her in, and I was like, I think she spent maybe a month too late in NXT. I don't know how I felt about that, but it was just one of those call-ups you knew was gonna work out. But now it's like you need to wait for the right creator for her.
Yeah, she's also someone that didn't win anything in NXT, which is also surprising because she could have won the women's title at least once and then called up right after.
Yeah,
but that was nothing for her either.
To be honest, she should have been straight on the main roster. It's not like no one knew who she was.
Yeah,
and they introduced her at the Rumble. Like that's a big moment. That already tells you that they're behind you. But then they brought her in and stuck her in NXT, and like Mike said, for way too long. Like people just stopped caring, and then she came up to the main roster, and they're putting her in big matches. It's just nothing, no big moments for her. You know what I mean? No big wins. I don't remember like a big win from her yet.
Yeah,
but it's still early.
Yeah, 2 Rumble appearances, then going to NXT, and she did work the all women's show Evolution, which was a good spot for her. But like, it's like the Javon thing. Like you had a good run, but nothing really to say for yourself.
Yeah, she has to wait for the right opportunity, I guess. Like maybe she'll get that US title shot at some point and win that, and maybe she'll be Money in the Bank and be a favorite to win that. I don't know. There's still chances to put her in creative. It's just, will people be behind her, and will that opportunity come? Eventually strike, and will people get behind her again? I don't know. That's the thing that you gotta hope happens if it does.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of don't want to pitch this idea, but if they put like her and Ivy Nile together as like the two buff chicks in the roster as a team.
I mean, if that's something, that's something. Yeah,
something.
Yeah.
It's better than nothing.
Yeah, they're really doing something with the women's tag stuff, which is weird enough, but not for nothing. That fucking belts are cursed as hell because every time they put on somebody gets hurt, somebody leaves.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
It's always something.
Yeah, I mean, if it's something for her to do. If it's something for her to do, then I wouldn't mind until she gets out of that. Yeah. It's like the same thing with Lash. Lash Legend was also, I guess you can count her as one of them because I guess she got called up right before. I feel like this whole
earlier by like War Games time.
Yeah, like a little bit earlier. But if her with Nia, it was like, oh, I think this is just for her to get up into the main roster, introduced to everybody, and then eventually they'll go their separate ways, and Lash will go on and do her own stuff by herself. I hope, because she can also be. I think she's the favorite to win the Money in the Bank. In my opinion, if you make her go solo, but again, you got to find a way to drift it away from Nia. So,
I mean, they're already teasing her and Rhea.
Yeah.
So we know what they want to do with her.
Yeah.
But now we're gonna deal with the NXT call-ups that they did for after WrestleMania. We'll start with the Raw roster with this trio. First up, Joe Hendry. Are we surprised at this?
No, that was eventually going to happen.
It was a given.
Yeah, I'm also surprised he was put on NXT when he did. He also was somebody that a lot of fans knew already, so he could have been on the main roster immediately.
Mm-hmm.
We knew he's entertaining. Even the song is kind of catchy that he did with Logan Paul. So it's like, all right, if he would have been booked a lot sooner, he would have been over. Maybe the Danhausen hype, maybe.
Yes. To be honest, yeah, facts.
He could have had that hype too, because he is very entertaining. He's funny. He puts the E in WWE, and he uses that heavily.
Oh,
Um,
Jesus.
No, he does. He does. He does.
Do you work for their creative department? Are you gonna make these moves
Sorry.
now?
Sorry, I'll quit tomorrow.
Jeez.
He
He
was
puts the
saying-
E in it. Jesus, God.
He was-
That was a great line, Nick. That was a
It
great
was.
line.
I'm trying to sound creative with that.
Can I just say one thing about the song too? Is that I think I find it oddly timing with the whole releases too. It's like you have to sing about wanting somebody to fire me while all these other people are getting fired.
It's a good song, but bad timing with it. It's like it's just you could have waited a little bit longer, or maybe not to do the firing thing. But him, I like Joe Hendry. Again, Joe Hendry's a given, so he's always been funny and creative. So glad that he got up eventually. But I think it was just he was probably given the NXT titles to say he won it, and then maybe go up after that.
Yeah.
So
it was definitely just to give him an accolade. Like he's
Yeah.
another one that I feel they let his momentum die. Like he should have been straight to the main roster again, introduced through the Rumble, introduced through Mania. He had a match at Mania. Like why was
when
this
he was
man
TNA World Champion?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Why was he put on NXT TV? Put him straight on the main roster. And like Nick said, we could have been talking about him the same way we're talking about Danhausen on the entertainment side. You know, they could have done a lot more with him. NXT, he did do a lot of cool stuff, but again, not everybody watches NXT. So like, I didn't see a lot. I saw a lot of highlights about it, but if they would have had that on the main roster, I think he would be one of the most talked about guys today.
It's one of those interesting things for me because I've known about Joe for years before WWE, before TNA. Like he's done like parody songs before this, so
yeah.
it was just that once he moved to America, dyed his hair blonde, and once everybody got up behind the theme song, it's just like where the hell have you people been? Like I've known about this guy for years. Like even like in Ring of Honor, he did like a little stint there, but it was just like now everybody's understanding what this guy's all about. And for me, it's like when they're probably thinking about those rosters, they're probably thinking you can't put Joe and Danhausen on the same show.
Yeah.
Like, you have to separate them two.
Yeah.
And even though like one doesn't have to do with the other, just that you need a different like slice of a character. Like Joe's the singer, and Danhausen is the goofball.
Yeah.
And you can't have both of them on a 3-hour show.
Yeah, that is true.
That is very true. Now that you think about that, they do have that similarity between each other, so makes sense.
Yeah,
Because you can't. Because like
probably why
realistically, you
they
can't
kept
go from singer to
on.
goof.
Yeah, I mean, if you add Iguana to the mix, it's probably why they keep him in AAA to be like,
Oh
yeah,
man,
that's also somebody that a lot of people are getting over with at the moment, rightfully so. But it's just 3 of the similar comedic gimmicks on one show. It's like, all right, that's too much for one show.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's working, I guess. I mean, they're there for a reason. People love them. I mean,
yeah, and you have to think with the AAA guys too. Like if they're the exception to the rule, if they can come to NXT, like you would think Vikingo, for how talented he is, like NXT would pick him up right away. With all the people that they just called up, like there's a spot for him on that show.
100%.
Yeah, but they probably need him as like a star there to keep selling out tickets there. You know what I mean? They feel like once the second he leaves, it's like, now what?
Yeah, because I was gonna say, I wonder like what the contracts look like for AAA. Like, are they dual that they could go to? Like, can they go to NXT? Is that a thing? I wonder if maybe, like Nick said, they need him in AAA, so maybe that's why he's not going. But you are right. There is a spot for him, and they need some new names in NXT. So, and they have the new names coming up, so why not throw him in that mix?
Yeah, like that young prospect Evil.
Yeah.
Yo, I heard a lot about that young kid, man.
Yo.
That young kid, I heard a lot about that prospect.
He's so young. He's probably really new in wrestling. I don't know.
39 years old and 20 years in the business. But fair enough on him. He chose to go to NXT, which it was also too, if he put a debut on the main roster, it's gonna be a lot of crickets. It's gonna be like, who the fuck is this dude?
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, look at when we'll talk about him in a little bit, but when Ricky came on SmackDown, that was a little tough, and he's been on NXT for how long? So you can only imagine what would happen to Evil.
Yeah,
but Next up, they called up for NXT to surprisingly Monday Night Raw. I thought he would be a SmackDown guy, but looking at what they're doing him now on Monday Night Raw, Ethan Page, perfect fit.
Yeah,
Perfect
yeah.
fit.
Yeah.
He's a perfect fit in the main roster. He's perfect fit in WWE in general. Like I think, when he got to WWE, he showed more of a personality to him. And you can see it every time he cuts a promo, every time someone's talking back, his facial reactions to everything is pretty great. So he gets it. Also surprised it took him this long to get called up because he's been down there for like at least a year. So 2 years, 2 years. So it's also very long. He should have been called up last year, but he's fits in very well. I mean, I won't be surprised if he wins the IC title match against Penta.
He should.
Because I think that's something that if you want to book him strong, just give him the title right away.
100%.
So he's doing a great job. I'm loving what he's doing. He's very entertaining. I'm loving what he's doing, especially during that time when he was teaming with Chelsea Green. Great pairing. It's like they fit well. I don't know. I don't know why they kind of split that up. They should have stayed together, but he's doing a great job in the main roster. I'm actually loving him more week by week.
If they weren't giving Trick the U.S. title, he would have been on SmackDown for me. And then, because Chelsea's on SmackDown too, so it's one of those interesting things. But, like, well, I don't know if you remember, but Ethan Page was one of those guys that was not reported for NXT. Like, nobody knew that he was going to show up. And just one night on NXT, he just randomly shows up. And he's on, I think it was 2 months in, he got the NXT title.
Yeah, which makes sense. He was killing it, and I think he's still killing it. To be honest, I would put The Rock on him. I had talked to Nick about this. I was like, yo, if there's a guy to come in and kind of make the mark of NXT for the fans that don't watch it, to kind of make that NXT feel even more special, I was like, have him come up on SmackDown and beat Cody for the belt at Backlash or at Clash. That would make you feel like, yo, NXT is important, but also this guy is super over, and everybody, he is not. You either love him or you hate him, but you want to see him. It's not the go away. He has like just I hate this guy. I want to see him get beat up, or I love this guy. I want to see him win. And I think that's a great thing to have. And I would put The Rock on him. So I agree. He should take the IC title off of Penta and run with that and do this whole Canada gimmick. Why not bring it to the main roster? It worked in NXT. Yeah. We've seen it, like, of course we've seen it before, but it works so well with him and the way that he sells it. So why not do it on the main roster? It would be money.
I mean, if they're including Rusev and Javon Evans in that picture, then they're probably going to do a fatal 4-way at Clash in Italy, right? Why have a rematch? Why would you have the four of the two others in it, then have Ethan win and just end the story there? So it's probably going to be a fatal 4-way in Italy, most likely.
There might be I hate to say it, but it might be a schmoz, like a DQ at the Saturday's main event show, and then make the rematch a 4-way, and then like Ethan would probably pin like Javon or like Rusev to win the title, so then Penta doesn't have to eat a pin.
Yeah.
Because it kind of sucks for him that he's just trying to build momentum, but it's like Ethan's doing so fucking great right now. Just give him this title, and then have Penta chase. The chase is usually better than the win.
100%.
But then it's like down the road, maybe Javon eventually gets him, or there's somebody else that we're not thinking of on this roster. I don't know.
How is Rusev still in this picture?
Yeah.
How can we get him out of
it? He survived the cut, honestly enough.
I don't know how, but shout out to Rusev, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, shout out to Rusev. I mean, he could be booked more as a main eventer. I guess he's just someone to help put people over, or just be that that extra guy, that extra heel in that mid card division, I guess. Because he could also be a favorite to win Money in the Bank. If so, there's so many different options.
How many favorites do you have?
A lot. Yeah. I have a lot of favorites.
Rusev's not on that list. I hope Rusev's not on that list.
No.
I mean, not number one, but he's on there.
I have him at the tippy bottom.
I mean, Dominic,
I still don't know how he got
Paul,
in the
Money in the Bank. Match. I'm thinking like that.
True.
Maybe even Trick. Maybe.
Yeah. True, Logan is in my mind with Money in the Bank.
Yeah. Well, also because to go back to Joe for a second, where that's not a bad start for him to feud with Logan. It's just kind of weird that he has won the tag belts, but now it's like I feel they're gonna drop them for the Street Profits, and then we'll get like the big Logan Joe match and probably Clash.
Maybe, yeah, probably.
Yeah, because they gotta drop those tag belts. It would just make sense, especially with them doing the Joe and Logan thing. It just you gotta do it.
And for the love of God, one set of men's tag titles going forward.
Yeah,
they killed they killed the division with all these cuts and people leaving for pay cuts. God. Just
and they gave fucking Priest and R-Truth the tag title for some apparent reason. I gotta get haunted by that image. Does not make any sense anyway. Sure.
I don't get it. But what I do get is that Soruka is now on Monday Night Raw, and this was one of those prospects who had a slow start in NXT, tore her ACL, not to mention with like 12 other girls in NXT that did the exact same thing, which was like a weird trend going on in NXT.
It was like all the same time, right? It was like all in the same year.
One after another. It was like people were complaining about the trainer, and it was like, what the hell's going on down there? But now she came back. I don't want to accuse her of anything, but when you look at her face, it looks like something's done. But she doesn't look like the same girl, unless it's just makeup and I'm just stupid. But it's just, to me, she looks different. But ability-wise, she has it. And we saw it at the Women's Royal Rumble. We've seen it on her debut with Liv Morgan. It kind of sucks that she botched the finish against Becky last week. But
yeah, that would have been,
And then the weird loss to Io on Monday. But it's just, I don't know, like there is a lot of potential for Ed. The women's IC title is not a bad look for her either.
It isn't. I would hope that she wins it, like the first match they have, that title match. But I just hope they don't like treat it as what they did with Maxine, to where it's like, oh, you won it for 2 weeks and then you lose it back. It's like if she wins it, keep it on her, have her beat Becky again, the rematch, and then get Becky out of there. She's been in that picture for over a year now, consecutively.
Yeah,
like she hasn't taken a break. So Soul should win it and be like a great mid card champion. Again, Raw also has a great women's division that she can go up against. She can go up against Io again, Roxanne probably, and just give her names to defend that title against, until whenever she loses it. But she shouldn't be treated like Maxine, except for maybe winning it in the first match cleanly without like having anyone helping her out, like AJ did. But she's a great talent, and glad it seems like she's a little nervous on the main roster. I've noticed that too. Is like she seems like she's like a little bit nervous, which I get. It's a main roster. You're in a bigger stage now, in a bit bigger picture, so you may have a little nerves. I respect that, but hopefully she because she almost botched the movie yesterday too. At that spot where she landed on Io, she did that roll up, and I was like, oh, I don't know if that was supposed to happen or Io just messed up her move or something. But yeah, she's been doing good. A great talent to get called up to a great brand. I'm she's the future is bright for her. I'm just going to say that she's going to have a great main roster run, and I hope she gets treated well.
Yeah, I think she's gonna do awesome. Like you said, like they're treating her great off the bat. I'm kind of nervous about that. Them throwing her in a title picture. I kind of feel like she's not winning it just because of that. Like them just throwing her straight in there. But Becky does need to get rid of this title and take some time away from the title picture. And this would be the perfect person to put. And Nick, you're definitely right. Like we've seen like a couple times with her, a few missteps. But I think it's still early. She's just in her own head. Yeah. Like again, NXT. You're on NXT on TV, but still the aura of like Monday Night Raw. You know what I mean? Like that aura of being on that show or being on the main roster at all. So I think right now, let her get out her system. Hopefully, as long as it's safe, no one gets hurt, we're good. Like, you know what I mean? A misstep here and there is okay, but I think once she gets out of her own head, she'll be good. And yeah, the way that they're training her so far, I think she's gonna be a superstar on the roster. I think she's
Yeah.
gonna be one of the top women in a couple of years.
It's definitely an interesting situation where, like you guys are saying, maybe it's too early for her to go for a title, but when you look at the Raw women's division on like what the landscape looks like, Bianca and Naomi have been out with, or now pregnant. Bianca is currently pregnant, and Naomi is probably on her way back from her pregnancy. You have Stephanie Vaquer, who's now hurt, who's going to be out for a little bit.
Yeah.
Asuka's now taking some time off. They just fired Kairi Sane, so now it's kind of like, and you just moved Rhea over to SmackDown, so now it's kind of like on the Raw women's side, who else you got?
Yeah.
Like Maxine,
You got
not ready.
Liv. You got
Ivan Al's doing
Liv,
something on the side.
Roxanne.
Natty, we've seen it over and over again.
Lyra,
Yeah.
probably.
Yeah, where the hell's Bailey and Lyra? Like
I don't know.
I don't know. There's something going on with the women's division. I'm not just saying that because like women are getting pregnant and all shit. I'm just saying that like, the timing of everything is not helping WWE's cause.
Not at all.
Because they have plans for a lot of the stuff, and just like Liv Morgan currently has no program. She's just running around with the title. And it's like, okay, and you know damn well she's going to hold that for more than 30 days, and everybody's going, oh, she has to defend the title. It's like, who gives a damn then?
It's going to be like, who's defending? Who she got defended against?
Exactly. There's no one there.
Just
give her Bailey or Lyra if she's not going to defend against anybody. You know,
somebody give her
somebody.
Yeah. Well, I guess that's the thought with Becky. Maybe get the belt off Becky and move her into a program with Liv. But then you're just taking her from one title picture to another, and that's
seen it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe EO again. I don't know. EO would probably be the safe option. She won the match at Backlash.
Right. That's the next best option because I mean, Io is one of the best women's wrestlers on the roster in the whole company. Why not? Why are you not pushing her?
Because I will say that like I do feel like at SummerSlam it should be a triple threat with the Judgment Day girls, or at least Raquel and Liv. Because if Raquel wins Queen of the Ring, that guarantees her a shot at the belt anyways. So it's like, there you go. That's your SummerSlam match. But there's also 2 PLEs in between. And you got to give her something.
We were talking about this where you picked the whole like Judgment Day Summer for like
yeah.
But it kind of looks like they want Roxanne to be the one.
I wouldn't mind that either.
Yeah, I'm not mad at Roxanne winning that and being in that big title picture. She's one of those that, like, Soruka, I would have been thrown into a main title picture when she got called up. So seeing Soruka having that, I think is awesome because women from NXT should have that jump. That's like, you're a big deal in NXT. Let's not just bring you up and act like you're at the bottom of the barrel. Like, bringing them up and being like, acknowledging that they have won titles at NXT, just like we show respect for the men. You know, like.
Yeah.
Right. So those were the NXT call-ups that are officially on Monday Night Raw. So then we get to the SmackDown call-ups, and this is one of those where this show needed something. This show, when they went to 3 hours in this past year, has had bad show after bad show after bad show, and all of it McAfee fault or just bad storylines, or like nothing's really clicking. But they injected some life into the women's division. First, with all 3, I was surprised by this, all 3 members of Fatal Influence, of JC Jane, Fallon Henley, and Lainey Reed. Now, Reed is the one who was added late to the group. They kicked Jasmine Nix out, but she joined later on, and she blends in perfectly with the group. But it was just, I thought maybe the other 2 would get called up first, and she might be stayed behind, but they kept all 3 together, and the heat they got on night 1, legit or not, sounded great because people were saying like, "Oh, they're just like increasing the audio," but it is what it is.
Yeah, they did. I mean, great start. I mean, she couldn't even get a word in. She got the Dom heat, and it's like, it's a great. I mean, she got booed, but it was a great first impression on the. I'm assuming it then went in the back to be like, yeah, they got very.
That's the reaction they wanted them to get.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, in terms of calling them up at the same time, like I guess if it ain't broke, don't fix it. You know, like why not keep them together if they're working together in NXT the entire time? And the fact that JC pinned Charlotte last week or 2, whenever that 6-woman tag match happened 2 weeks ago, So it's
She pinned her
great.
twice, one in the
Did it
six
twice.
man, and
Oh,
then she had singles.
oh, shoot, yeah, I forgot about the singles one. I forgot about the singles one. Yeah, so pin her twice to be like, yeah, it's, they're legitimizing um JC Jane, as they should.
And
Winning
how
the
often
NXT
do we
Women's
see
title.
Charlotte lose?
Exactly.
Yeah, facts.
Exactly. Adding that to her, I mean, the other two can definitely be in the mid card division as well, or in the tag title scene. So you can really do anything with them two in the meantime. But they had a great start, an amazing start. And they shouldn't slow down anytime soon.
No, yeah, I thought it was also, especially like you guys said, the first night and the first impression. Even if it was piped in, I guess this is one of those scenarios, I guess, where an introduction they're telling you, like Mike said, they're telling you what they want you to feel and how you should feel about these people.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say it's okay for the first time. Now, if you keep doing it week after week, that's when it becomes a problem. But
Hmm.
for the first time, telling, like, especially people that don't watch NXT, you kind of want to put in their view that you're supposed to boo these people. So I thought that was great. And then, like you said, who beat Charlotte twice? Like, that's
Yeah.
a very a great
Queen.
way to come into
Yeah.
the company. Exactly, 1, 2, 3. Like, that's insane to think about, especially at a time like this where Charlotte is at the top of her game and of course always going to be one of the faces of the company on the women's division. So for
Yeah.
her to come in and get those two pins, someone up there likes her. Someone up front likes her, and if you don't think a star is going to be born, this is just the beginning for her.
Well, if you think about it for JC's, where she was immediately she was paired with Mandy Rose and Gigi Dolan, and then once Mandy got fired, then pretty much it was them two. And then when it came to singles push, they pushed JC out the fucking,
Yeah.
I was gonna say out the window, but it was like they put the rocket on her. Like they saw more in her than they did in Gigi Dolan, Priscilla Kelly. And it's definitely
Yeah.
one of those risks where at first it was kind of like, what the hell does JC have? And then they shocked the world because WWE loves these big moments. Like she beat Stephanie for the NXT Women's title when she
Yes.
was on top. And it's like, I remember it was like, are you fucking kidding me? Like you're gonna take like, and they're pushing Stephanie to the main roster right away, but it was like you're choosing Jay Z and you're giving her the TNA knockout title too. It's like one of those
Yes.
crazy things. And now Fallon is definitely a talented girl in her own right, but it
Yeah.
was just Fellaini. I think she kind of lucked into this spot. I need more time to see what else she got. But I was just thinking, if you call them two up, and if you want to keep a trio, Keanu James is familiar with them too. That wasn't a bad pick for me to put into that faction
Yeah.
because her and Julia is not working for me.
Yeah.
I hate it. Julia looks like a putz, and I get it. It's like, oh, she don't speak English, but it's like fucking. Like, you gotta give her a damn try.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got
Stephanie's
to do
doing it.
something.
Yeah,
If Stephanie can,
babyface turned for her, but it's like, Kiana, I get it. She has the aesthetics of like the person you want to push, but it's just like when like Julia lost the title, I was like, okay, I'm gonna wait for an hour and see if she's on the cut list. That's how it felt. I was like, what are you
yeah.
doing with this woman?
Yeah. I mean, Kiana should have been the one to defeat Julia for the title at least, because that's where I thought it was going. If you're gonna definitely put Julia as a babyface, that would have been the heel turn to do it. Then maybe she was the one because she had a great Elimination Chamber performance and great couple matches before that too. And it was like she seems to be probably next in line for that US title picture, but they
Mm-hmm.
gave it to Tiffany instead. But yeah, I mean the Lainey Reed, she was again. You said she was like recently added on, like last year, right? Like it was definitely at some point. So it's like,
Yeah, it was definitely during the summer because like Nix's contract expired, and then they were
oh, I mean, it's
like
not
oh,
sure.
like it was one of those weird things too. It was like the following week, like what happened to Jasmine? She's like, oh, I took her out. Okay, now you're our new friend. What? But yeah, it definitely is looks like one of those odd, not odd, but like familiar things of JC will be the single star and Fallon and
Yeah,
Blaney will be the tag team. And eventually, maybe Fallon's the one to break off. I mean, we'll see. We'll see what happens on the line. But That's the only female talent getting called up. Where this woman was in NXT for a little too long.
Black and gold. Since Black and Gold.
Yeah, but it's also one of these rare ones from AEW where they've had gold with her, and then she goes to NXT, has some moments, but now main roster time. Blake Monroe is coming to SmackDown, and I'm not sure if this is the right fit. I think maybe Raw might be better for her, but we haven't seen her yet. But what do you guys think of this idea of her going to SmackDown first? Well, no, he's being called up now.
Well, yeah, called up. Also, not mad at it, but again, it should have been Raw since they need more women over there. So I was kind of surprised that they gave her the SmackDown spot. I again would have been Raw, but the idea of her calling up, great. You know, she's I know she didn't have like that. She won the title, and before she lost it, I think it was a botch, right? A botch finish. That one that lost the title.
Yeah.
And then unfortunately, but she had a great run. I remember seeing in big matches, so she's entertaining. She's meant for WWE, so she fits that WWE mold that they want her to do. But just putting her on SmackDown, I'm like, whoa, give her a chance on Raw. She'll be big. Have a bigger role over there.
Because when you think about the SmackDown women, just the idea of like who's on the heel side, mind you, they just called up 3 of them.
Yeah,
so you have all 3 of them: Jade Cargill, Michin, B-Fab. That's another trio. You have Nia and Lash, Chelsea, who's taking time off now. Hopefully, she gets better. Yeah, and Kiana James, Julia. It's like this is a heel heavy show.
Yeah, going back to JC Jane's group, it's like I feel like their group is probably going to be like what they wanted Jade's group to be like. Because like Jade and her group are like, all right, they're heels, but you know, it just feels like they just have nothing for Mia Yim and B-Fab. Let's just put them with Jade. They haven't gotten that much of heel heat, but JC Jane and her group got major heat immediately. And it's like, all right, this is probably the attention that they wanted from Jade's group. But Blake Monroe is just adding on again. The heels are just outnumbering the baby faces, so it's like give her a shot on Raw. She'll be, you know, if Becky does take some time off, it's like, all right, that's the heel you want to have on your show to be like, I hate this person. Besides Liv.
Yeah. And she's a perfect Raw character. She fits on Raw so perfectly. She is having. I have seen a couple of vignettes of she's coming already, so she has like the Veer mentality right now. But she'll come to SmackDown sooner or later. Coming soon. She's another one I thought was gonna get
everybody. She's coming.
I thought she was gonna get the main roster treatment too once she signed. But it is good that she went through NXT, did her thing. Sucks that she did have that botched finish, and that's kind of what everybody kind of points to during her NXT time. But we'll see what happens on SmackDown. In the main roster, she'll work. It's just on SmackDown right now, I don't think so.
Bad timing with it.
It's like if they would have known that, like, say, Kyrie was gonna get released, or if like Becky, like, it's not week to week, but if she takes some weeks off, you could have like a Blake Monroe go in there and show what she could do, because like it's all her character too. Like that's what her basis is. Like her in-ring stuff is fine, but it's like when people see her, they see this crazy British chick who is like, oh, like so lovingly, and then it's like she's the fucking devil, like in the next second. Pretty much Mariah May, like what she was in AEW. But again, it's like one of those weird things when it's like she goes to NXT, it's like, oh shit, it's like she's there for 3 months, and then it's like, okay, now she's for 6 months. It's like, how long she could be here for? It's like, now she's on the main roster, and I think wrong destination.
Yeah.
Already. And I'm just like, come on.
And then going back to 2 hours, so it's like, well, now where are they going to fill all these people in 2 hours?
Unless some of them turn face, like maybe Julia, hopefully, but it's like, that's going to be a struggle with the fans too. It's like, okay, they don't react to her as a heel. Can they react to her as a babyface? That's fingers crossed on that one. But now, like,
they need a draft like ASAP, man, to split up these people.
You don't think a draft would help?
Don't a draft is needed, but don't waste it on the shows. Like, do a special. Like, you're on ESPN.
Yeah,
Fucking
yeah.
have Stephen Smith. Oh, like, if I was drafted from Monday Night Raw, I'd be picking this up, like this person up, like, blah, blah. Like, use what you have. You have YouTube, you have ESPN. Make an ESPN special. Because if you want it to be sports-like, for fuck's sake.
Exactly.
I don't want us to do a 2.5 hour episode of Raw just to say, oh, staying on Raw, staying on Raw, staying on Raw. New person on Raw. It's like, I had to wait through 5 fucking picks just to hear a new person.
Yeah.
Like, screw you. And mind you, they do a draft and then guess what? Time to cut people again. It's
yeah. I was gonna say, do you guys remember the wild card rule that they had like that one year? I think it was like 2019. The wild card rule.
And then when they went to Fox, like, oh no, we need a draft. It's like, oh, never mind.
Yeah,
yeah. It was like, and then I think it was like 20. What? I think it was like 2012 when they was like, oh, SmackDown stars, you were able to go to Raw, but Raw superstars couldn't go to SmackDown. I was like, huh?
Every week was the Raw Super Show.
The Super Show with the SmackDown. Oh yeah. That's when
they
cared. That's when they fake cared about the draft
of the brand split.
Yeah, the Super Show. Oh God.
You're right. It was like the Raw logo with the SmackDown Super Show.
Yeah.
Jeez. And then they changed the whole intro video to like show the SmackDown Super Shows. I'm like, Jesus Christ.
Just say we're not doing it anymore. Just say we're not doing the draft no more. That's it. We don't care anymore.
And the only thing we care about too is if anybody actually changed the show, which we'll get into in a bit. But Joel mentioned this man's debut, and it was like one of those sad, like kicking a puppy, like sad whimper outing where it's like Ricky Saints is coming to SmackDown, and nobody reacted. It was like, oh,
not a single bit. Like, you can hear crickets from miles away. Yeah. It was like no reaction at all, which is sad to hear because he should be getting a big reaction.
One of those guys from AEW, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but just one of those guys from AEW that when he finally got his release, it was like, go to NXT, and he's like, oh my God, finally. And that's like North American champion, NXT champion.
Yeah.
A year in NXT, though, but you know what? He did better than what people probably thought initially.
Yeah. They should have just kept him as a babyface and turned him heel on the main roster instead of doing that right before he got called up. So it's like, all right, now people just, not only is he heel, but people don't really care about the heel run because it's like there was not much to work with when it happened, you know. And so it's like now he became that heel that people just wanted to beat up, for pleasure on TV, I guess. Ethan Page, he was getting wins. He's the longest reigning North American champion. So it's like he was killing it while being a heel. Ricky Saints was just like, you're losing every time now. Right. So I think people stopped caring then. That carried over to the main roster. It's like you should have just waited till the main roster to turn him heel.
Yeah.
And it can be both. There's nothing wrong with him being a face or a heel. It's just
yeah.
Now you're going to SmackDown. Who are you working with? You put him with Cody Rhodes, and let's. God damn it, we have to lose to Cody on night 1, but fuck you, Cardona.
I mean, it's the only way I could definitely see the Saints working on SmackDown is if they repair him back with Royce Keys. The only thing that would get me somewhat that would be the only thing that would get me somewhat interested in what he's going to do on SmackDown, because that would be, they had the chemistry at least. It would be like, they make me want to care. But it's like it's by himself.
They need teams. They need teams.
They do.
Yeah.
They do. So I wouldn't mind that.
After that debut, it kind of took the wind out of him, man. Like,
yeah,
I don't even have my hopes high for him. I kind of just, we're there with Ricky, so anything he does might surprise me and be like, whoa, he's doing really great. But that's just because I have no expectations for him.
So will he be tag champion before US champion?
Probably.
Yeah. I mean, R-Truth and Damian Priest are champions. I think they're just giving it to anybody right now.
Yeah.
I think if you just show up to the office with a tag team partner, they'll put you in a match.
Yeah.
And the thing about it too, it's like I should have known. I should have known that Cody's boy will go on Cody's show. Because they have that connection. Yeah. So it's kind of like, if you ever, like, say if you want to do eventually when the day comes when Cody's going to turn heel, he needs people. He needs some henchmen. I'm looking at Team Taz. I'm saying, hey, that could be Team Nightmare right now.
Yeah.
Down the line.
Yeah. Him and
And right now they have Royce Keys as a baby face, but every time they show him, like, oh, like, why should we care? My mom died.
which is a
Okay, I feel
crazy
bad for
way to
you.
yeah. That's a crazy personality trait they have for him right now. Like that's all we know about him at the moment. They just keep running with it.
And
Yeah.
he's dapping up Jacob Fatu, and people are supposed to be booing him too. So it's like how am I supposed to feel about Mr. Keys?
Yeah.
That's actually so true.
Which by the way is like he's not really a call up, but it's definitely one of those like moves that like he's officially on SmackDown. Kind of good thing he's away from Oba, which is the smart thing, but we should have known. We should have known. It's like, and the thing is, they debuted him the week before the expected thing. It's like, oh, because I was like, oh, he's gonna be a surprise on the Andre thing, and he's gonna win that thing, and that's how you start this off. But it's like they couldn't wait. Here he is, and now he wins the Andre Battle Royal, and now he just stands like this. And
you gotta do the pose, baby. You gotta do the pose next to the trophy.
Yeah. And then it's like, I guess officially Danhausen's on SmackDown, which makes sense.
Lit, baby. Shout out Danhausen.
It's one of those things too. It's like, of course, my nephew sees this and he's like, "You got cursed." I'm like, "Oh, I want to say something bad." Oh.
You know what? Danhausen curse him.
You know what? I give Danhausen a lot of credit because Danhausen is probably one of the most over people in WWE that, other than a champion, he's the most over person. It shouldn't, but in WWE world, it makes perfect sense.
Exactly, because Danhausen's. It's. I mean this in a positive way. It's stupidly funny. You know what I mean? It's not supposed to be taken serious. His tag partner at Backlash, I know a lot of people that weren't expecting that to happen, but it was like, of course that would happen with Danhausen because that's Danhausen. But like, you know, for a while, I always felt like that's what something that WWE is missing is characters. I feel like for a while it was just like WWE is just set wrestler added with a personality, which is different from a character. You know, Danhausen's a character. Roman Reigns being the head of the table, that's a personality. Because like, oh, I'm the boss. I run everything. That's a personality. Right. So it's the difference, and they were missing that for years. So Joe Hendry, I guess it's more of a personality, but Grande is a character, awesome, that's doing great. I guess you could say Iguana is a character. Those are something that you're added on and are getting over, and it's like cool. We got those now.
And I just want to say shout out to Jay, who without him this whole channel's not a whole thing, but it's like when you look at Danhausen, it makes certain people who like find certain things funny. Jay is fucking easily amused, so this is like an easy character for him to like laugh at. Because when you just see him, when you see Danhausen, big explosions, then you just see him running around with a bunch of midgets like trying to escape, like him with the mobile, like the car. And it was like, if anybody was watching Backlash and you were thinking, oh, CM Punk's going to be his tag team partner, or anybody else, it's like, no, it's El Torito in a Danhausen costume. Everybody needs to make their everybody has to lower their expectations going forward with WWE because they're not going to do the big thing you think they're going to do.
And even Cena's announcement too, which was cool, I guess, but that was also underwhelming to be like, oh, that was it. I thought it was.
How cool was it, Nick? How cool was that announcement?
No, I mean, it's like I was like, all right, I guess they're doing another showcase to showcase NXT stars, but it's like it's not historic. It's not historic.
The way he tried to announce it, the way he explained it was like, even if you lose,
you get a championship. I'm like, like
he said the return of Taboo Tuesday, baby.
That part was stupid. They should have done like a tournament that would be like, all right, cool. Then you win championship, you showcase NXT stars, but it's like. How are you gonna lose and then win a championship? I don't know.
Because it's for them to make us think that we have a voice as fans. The fans choose.
Yeah.
But I'm sure when you vote, you won't see a percentage. You won't be able to see the number. It'll just be like, oh, your vote was counted. Thank you.
Yeah. You got to be registered to Club WWE to vote, and it's like, no.
I don't know if you guys remember this, but when they did one of those like Monday Night Raw polls for like. It was for a match for like who do you want Evan Bourne to face tonight? It's like in your options were like Sin Cara, Mason Ryan and like somebody else on the
Yeah.
roster. And what happened was people were voting for the Divas match first before that, and the votes then moved into that match. So Mason Ryan won the vote overall. So the producers were like, "Oh shit, go out there, have a match with Evan Bourne." Meanwhile, they wanted to have the Sin Cara Evan Bourne match, and it was like, "Oh shit, the fucking voting broke." It broke
Yeah, I
the
would have
system.
been kind of tight having to see a fucking Evan Bourne versus Mason Ryan match. But like,
Yo,
It was literally
this is what we got.
They showed the thing, and then the referee was like having the Iggy in his ear, and he probably telling everyone's like, "Okay, just call the match with them," and he wins. And then it was just standing like, "Are you kidding me?"
I
Like
remember
I
the
was
ball
supposed to have
roulette.
this high flying classic with Sin Cara, and I have to put over this fucking lunkhead. Like shit.
Remember the
Damn, I
Raw
never even knew
roulette?
that happened. Oh, Raw Roulette, yeah.
That was good. But we're talking about the NXT call ups and what their future was, and then it's always funny because when I join you guys, I always say, "Oh, this person should switch shows," but they definitely are now trying that now on this run after WrestleMania, where hopefully Jacob Fatu stays on Raw, and Gunther is now going to SmackDown,
Yeah.
which kind of makes the main event scene on SmackDown very star-studded. And that's not even counting the fact that maybe CM Punk is going to SmackDown. Like, what do you guys
Probably.
think about that? Because Punk, Rhodes, Randy, Gunther, Drew. That's not a bad main event scene over on SmackDown.
It isn't. If they're trying to make it more like sports, like as you were talking about the draft earlier, they should have announced trades. Like, we traded Jacob Fatu for
Well,
Gunther, some shit like that. To be like, oh, cool. Like, this is different, but it's cool. And then maybe Punk for somebody else. I don't know. But
Punk
like
and
that would have
Fatu would
been,
make the logical trade.
yeah.
Just
But I
one
mean,
for one.
yeah. So it's cool that they switch shows. It's different for Gunther. I know go off topic with that. I hope he wins against Cody. But Jacob on Raw makes a lot of sense. You definitely need something on there to line up for Roman. If Braun Breaker's probably next after Jacob if Jacob doesn't win it. You have a couple people lined up. Seth is kind of teased for that too because he told
Oba.
Oba too. Yeah, so you have people lined up for him. So it's interesting to see what they're doing with Jacob now. Yeah, I kind of fuck with the heel Jacob more than the babyface because you just kind of give him more of like a personality instead of just like just saying the same thing instead of saying the same catchphrase. You know what I mean? That's over, but it's like him as a heel. It's like, oh shit, you don't want to mess with this guy. But it should have happened before Backlash to give it more of like, oh, now I think Jacob's gonna win because now it's giving me more reason to make me think he's gonna take the title off Roman soon. If they have a rematch.
If Roman works June or not, which is probably the stupidest thing I've ever heard. It's like if he works June, does he mean he has the title? It's like, first off, they're doing this feud too soon. I will say that, but it's like when you have looking at Roman's schedule, it's like if you want to do this match, like do it now. But it's kind of like okay, like if Jacob and Punk switch shows, that's good for both of them. Gunther going to SmackDown makes sense, but them explaining this is the favor. I don't know how I feel about that. Unless Brock's really done and they really just wanted to put a lid on this favor storyline.
Maybe they didn't expect Brock to retire this time, and maybe the plan was to have Gunther retire.
I fully think Brock did that on his own. He's like, you know what? I'm fucking done.
I don't want to lose to somebody else in the same year.
Definitely. Yeah, that it makes sense, especially the way that they kind of had to pivot with even Oba and I guess figuring out what they were gonna do with Gunther, and that's why it took us like 2 weeks to see him on SmackDown. They had to figure out, okay, what are we gonna pivot to? Cody, okay, there we go.
Yeah.
And Randy's out now because he's hurt. It was obvious watching his match, but now it's like, oh, let's do Cody and Gunther. Now it's like the person that never loses versus the person you're making not lose ever. It's like, you're really booking yourselves in a corner for the summer, aren't you?
Yeah. Yeah, they I guess with SmackDown, I guess it's a little tougher. With Raw, I do like Jacob going to Raw. It kind of shakes things up. It gives new opportunities for like Rollins, for Breaker. It gives them a new opponent and not just cycling through the same guys. Even though it's just one change with Jacob, I feel like it does a lot with the roster. Same thing with Gunther, but Gunther's tougher because he's supposed to be so unbeatable that he can't really fight everyone. Because then he just has to run through
Yeah.
everyone. And like you said, then they're booking themselves into a corner and he's just beating everybody. And then they're doing the same thing they did with Roman a couple years ago that was like, fuck, who's gonna beat this guy now?
Yeah.
Hopefully it's SummerSlam and it's the Oba, just with the WWE title thing and the world title. It's definitely has been interesting. That's because I think going into Mania, it was like, oh, like Randy might win 15, but they didn't do that. So now Cody hold on to this for a little longer. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, it's just for Jacob going to Raw, he gets away from the fucking MFTs. Thank God. New people to work with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's like, Breaker, Jacob, Oba, those are the three next top guys they want to build around. It'd be interesting if Heyman turns on Breaker, maybe aligns himself with Fatu. Never know. Usos, kind of interesting idea with them. We'll see if LA Knight, he dodged the fucking bullet. He was going to work with Gunther, but Gunther now goes to SmackDown. Unless LA Knight stupidly follows him, which I don't see. But
LA Knight, man. That's another guy that had all the momentum in the world.
All the momentum. Everyone's behind him. And nothing. I guess nothing.
yeah, hopefully Kevin Owens makes a return soon. That'd be interesting to see him come back on SmackDown. But
Because he'll get a great reaction when
That'd
he
be
comes back.
awesome for him
oh,
to come
absolutely.
back.
Yeah.
But
The last time he was heel, and then I think so. I think him being back as babyface would definitely change things up for either show. Probably SmackDown more, but
I think
he's
SmackDown's
more-
definitely his home.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, he's a SmackDown guy.
yeah,
but
yeah.
like SmackDown's definitely the Kevin and Sammy show where they could definitely just work around.
Oh yeah, they're gonna be there
anybody.
for the rest of their careers.
Yeah, facts.
Yeah.
Right. But then just to close out with these call-ups, is there anybody on the NXT roster that are staying that you were surprised didn't get the call?
Surprised? I mean Tony, of course, because he's been there since day one. But I'm guessing like whenever he's dropped that title, it's like the next day he's on the main roster because I get it.
5
Like
years he's been
5
on
years.
on
He's like
NXT.
it's like I get it. Like his team got cut or something, or they had to change storyline with that. So it's like he got to quickly do something else. But it's like there's nothing left for him to prove. I guess the title was just to give him a title, say he's won it. So kind of like we said about Joe Hendry, it's like just say he's won it, and if he loses it, cool. Whenever he loses it, and then next day he should be on the main roster doing whatever. Because put him on Raw or SmackDown, he'll fit right in. And I don't.
You think so though? Like,
I mean,
I
definitely
think with the Don,
immediately.
I'll say for the Don character, it had its limits, but now it's kind of like I don't know what the hell he is. Just a vigilante, because he completely dropped the whole Italian thing.
Yeah,
and now it's just Tony D'Angelo.
Yeah, it's better than the Italian thing because at that point I was like, all right, we a little bit. I mean, I take it more seriously than the Italian thing.
Yeah, the Italian thing put him in a box. They put him in a box.
Because it was the same storyline, like with everything. It's like, oh, you got to swim with the fishes, type thing. So I was like, now he gets to have more range to anything with anyone. So it's like, it's definitely interesting to see who they put him against on the main roster. To be like, all right, now what is he going to do with this guy or that guy? He's probably going to be in the mid card scene at first, probably for a bit, but he'll definitely work his way up when he gets to the main roster, kind of like the Trick way.
Yeah.
Do any of the women in NXT surprised? Like
where's Kalani, man? Why is she still down in NXT? Yeah. It's been years, man. I think it was like
hyping her up too.
Yeah, I think it was like 3 years ago at one of the standard delivers. I was like, oh, she lost. Like, this is her time to get called up, and she's still there.
Yeah.
Like, she deserves a spot on the main roster. She should be coming up and making a splash, and she's just down there still in NXT. And I don't even know, like, maybe they feel like she's unreliable, maybe. I don't know. Maybe. But she's just, it feels like she's just stuck in NXT purgatory right now.
The other thing too is she is currently a heel, and if they keep the tradition of keeping couples together, and she goes to SmackDown, that's another heel on the SmackDown side for the
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
the women.
Yeah.
That is true. So maybe
That
it
is-
is true. It is right that she's still at NXT right now.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, Lola Vice too, Thea Hale.
Yeah, Lola
Lola,
is
yeah.
should be on the main roster too because she's amazing.
I mean, she's currently double dipping with NXT and AAA, and I was
AAA,
surprised
yeah.
they gave her the women's NXT title, but it's now like maybe after SummerSlam, maybe they want to call her up. But Jada Parker too. Like, there's some women
Jade
down
has
there.
been down there for a
Yeah.
while.
Because
Yeah.
remember, for the past year, we've heard, "Oh, this is the greatest women's NXT roster we've had in years." So it's like,
There's
call
a
them up.
lot
I
of
mean,
them. Yeah.
Bring
Tatum Paxley
'em.
too. Tatum Paxley is another one that is ready to go.
Yeah.
Her character is great too. They
They
kind of
also
have this weird
brought in
thing
a
with
lot
her.
of people, I heard recently. So it's like, do you have to have all these old reliables to kind of help them and push them for a bit? Because if you have so and so who's new versus another new person, it's like, all right, am I gonna care about this, or should if it's like Tony D'Angelo versus this new guy, it's like, all right, cool. That guy that well, no, that always attacked him the last 2 weeks. I forgot his name, Mason
Rook.
Rook. John Cena always shouts him out, so that's how I know who he is. But it's cool.
I had no idea who he was.
Yeah. So it's cool to see him there, and I mean, I hope this John Cena Classic thing puts someone on the map because it put Sol Ruka, Javon Evans, and Oba on the map. That's they got called up less than 6 months later. So it worked, I guess.
And also, it's not a bad idea too. The people that you're not using on the main roster, have them go back to NXT.
Yeah.
Why not?
I mean,
Otis,
Yeah.
Akira, Los Garza. I mean, I don't know if Los Garza pretty much just said goodnight after last night, but
I think they're gone. Yeah, I think they're gone.
it's like, Jesus
Yeah.
Christ. All these people that they're
You put them
not
on
using.
AAA. I don't know why they're not on AAA.
But there's options now. And
Yeah.
I'm telling you that Oba's going to do these open challenges. Omasa's going to accept that 1 week.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
Exactly.
going to be one of those visuals where you going to see him fucking powerbomb that 7-foot giant. And another one, too, is like, for Oba, I won't be surprised if Sheamus answers it.
Yeah. I mean,
I
Undertaker
forgot
has to be
about
making
Sheamus.
calls. Yeah, Undertaker needs to be making some calls, man, because he needs some people on that roster that are like people that aren't being used, because he could definitely use some people over there.
It's not bad. They did the Battle Royal to Otis and Kira. Like, the LWO works AAA now. It's like not even a thing over here anymore.
Yeah, pretty much. So, yeah, I mean,
that does it for this edition of Cutting a Promo. We covered a lot, which is
we did
one of those good things.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, thank you for stopping by.
Thank you.
Please tell everybody where they can find you at.
Sure. We're on all platforms: Instagram, TikTok, X, and YouTube. Just type in at The Ring Fanatics, and we will be there. We release a new weekly podcast every Friday afternoon on Friday afternoons, 12:30 p.m. Eastern time. So make sure you tune in and watch those episodes. Give us a like, subscribe, follow wherever you see us. Support us in any way, shape, or form you can. So yeah, we're on all those platforms. Just give us a follow.
Absolutely. And guys, don't forget to subscribe here to New York Wrestle Media and tap that bell for all future notifications. We are almost at 1,000 subscribers. So please, let's get that number up to there. And also make sure you go subscribe to the Ring Fanatics as well. But everybody, catch you in a second.
In a sec.
2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff.
Sit, turn type, sit. Good boy.